everyone, it's Naomi, and here we are at the Firecracker Department after show. One of my absolute favorite things to do because as a core group, we talk about past episodes, and I get to share the cute little faces and the voices of my core team, and you can fall in love with them as much as I love them. So we've got Emily Churchill in LA, we've got AJ Edmonds in LA and sometimes Toronto, and we've got Veronica Martin, who's in Toronto slash Oakville. There we go. And we are talking today about Ainsling Chin-Yee, who is this amazing director. She directed The Rest of Us. She also directed a movie that I'm going to get for the first time ever. This is the title. It's Synesthesia. Nailed it. And she and I talked during the TIFF festival last year. And she's an amazing director because the stuff that she does is sort of, she crosses over like really heartfelt, deep, beautiful work, and then also really intellectual work. What for you resonated from my discussion with her?
Well, I loved her quote of how to just be, because that's one thing I struggle with daily, trying to just be in the moment, trying to just be okay with being where I'm at. And so I just loved how she said that because it's so true. I think we all try to fight that every day.
How do you? How you do you do? Yeah.
I mean, I meditate every day, but it's still a struggle.
Yeah.
Like when someone knocks me off my course, I'm like, just be, and just be. And it's a lot of times impossible.
Being angry. I'm being angry.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you two, AJ, Veronica?
What resonated with me, yeah, I really liked the, the intellectual part of it, learning something new, learning more about synesthesia, how that is for someone. I just thought that was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah, I'm so intrigued with when somebody has a passion for something like that and turning it into an art. And boy, do I ever like getting educated through movies as opposed to having to read about it. AJ, what do you think?
I just love that she's such a diverse storyteller. It's so easy to pigeonhole writers and directors and even actors. You get stuck in like comedy or drama or, family drama or whatever. And I love that she has this curiosity that she just addresses, and she tells a story, even if it's a doc, and she's usually a narrative person. And it's just very freeing, the stories that we tell or how we remember our history. And I love that, like, she's just exploring all of these different, you said at the beginning, like, she's very intellectual, but she's also very much a narrative storyteller. Yeah. And I love coming across
your brain too, AJ. I feel like you go it from like, you have a really part of your brain that's very intellectual and logical, but then you have like this, like, you're one of the most beautiful singers I've ever heard in my life. And you also are funny. So you have this really, how do you choose which way to go? Like when you have an idea?
I think it depends on what the idea is. Like a lot of the doc work I've done, it honestly been inspired by my mom. My mom is a highly intelligent, incredible academic, and her studies have been everything from disabilities in war zones to space relations. And so I sort of see a lot of the stories that she tells through academia as things that I want people to know about. So it really is. My mother's a huge inspiration for the intellectual side of my curiosity. And the other stuff is just, there's a kid inside me that loves to just bounce out and kind of exist. I mean, it's the artist within all of us, right? So it's hard to balance, and it's really easy to get pigeonholed. I've worked as a producer for a long time because that's how people know me, and because I happen to be a good administrator. And it's hard to remind people that there are kids in there too.
Well, I mean, we're doing, as a community, the Firecracker Department right now, we're going through the Artist's Way process. And I know, Veronica, you're one of the reign holders. That's a really interesting challenge too, like the dissection of intellect versus emotional. What are you finding, Veronica, with your process of the Artist's Way?
I'm really enjoying it. This is the third time that I've been through it, and it is so different each time. And what I've been really conscious of is, instead of sitting with something that I've done before and I know that I was able to succeed at. Like, I'm making myself do something that I'm not comfortable with. There's a number of exercises each week, and I'm making sure that I'm doing the exercises that don't make me feel very comfortable. And that stretches me, ideally artistically, stretches my thinking. And then, the time away after the exercise is really when the work happens. It sits with you, it sort of grows you. You go back, you think about it some more, and you develop your ideas. And I just love that.
Yeah. What would you mind sharing with us something that you were not interested in pursuing? You did it and you learned something from it?
Oh gosh. Now you've put me on the spot, and I'm trying to think without having had nearly enough caffeine. Even though it's noon. Even though it's noon here. Thanks.
What else? What else did Aisling say that you were sparked by?
I loved which I'm sure you know this, but I loved the whole right left brain mentality, because me in the tax world, people are like, how can you do that and be an actor and producer and stuff? And for me, it's like a puzzle, which I need to remind myself of that. But to me, it's, a puzzle of, this time I can just use this brain and I can get 1 + 1 = 2. And it's very, logical, instead of always being in the artist brain. For me, is a little challenging because it's not as structured.
I know, but wouldn't you hate it if you didn't have both?
Yes, I think I would.
Yes. And sometimes the balance, right? Sometimes I find myself too 1 + 1 and not enough playfulness. And then I'm like, oh man, I got to get on stage and do some improv. Or how do you guys get yourself balanced when you find yourself off kilter? AJ?
I think I'm still discovering how to balance.
Oh, can't you just give me the answer? Can't you just tell me how to do this?
I actually think it comes from, I'll either go home and spend time with my family, because it's nice to remember how people that don't exist in the arts live.
That's true.
Because we forget that there is a life outside of entertainment, and it is pretty balanced. I've got a family that, for the most part, everyone's 9 to 5, and they have families, and they own houses. It blows my mind. So it's nice to reconnect with them, to remember what life is, and then go back to the chaos of being an artist.
Yeah. Anything else, Veronica?
That's life too, though.
Yeah.
Like, every life is different. Yeah,
that is true.
I like that. I know somebody said once that artists put order from chaos. There's nothing more satisfying for me than to organize my purse or the spice drawer or something like that, because I like to see chaos go to order. And that's, I think, how I think too, is I have an idea and I'm like, there's sort of balloons, and I find myself pulling at the threads and finding a way of tying them into a place so I know how to gather them.
So true.
Yeah. Any other final words about Aisling's chat that I had?
Listen to it. It was great.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what she does next, with this, because she produces and she directs, and she's real dynamo. All right, so speaking of dynamos, hey dynamos, what do you got going on? Tell me about what's happening in your life so we can support what you're working on. AJ?
Still making Pocket Film School a thing. We're creating master classes, so I'm starting to teach production now, and actually do live production master classes at different film festivals. So that's consuming a lot of time.
And people can find out about you and Pocket Film School where?
On our website. So I'll put the pocketfilmschool.io in the bio.
I love it, because you edit all these suckers, so you could do stuff like that.
I have
the talent she has. Emily, what do you got coming up?
Well, Naomi and I just finished filming Star Craving Actress, that I star in with Naomi, and I produced it too.
One of the best producers ever. Those producers that give you information before you think you need the information? That's Emily.
Yes.
Yes.
I was really trying.
Great job.
Thanks. It was fun. You are great.
Where do people also, if you ever want to see Emily as a blonde, you're going to want to watch this short film. Fantastic.
Cool.
Where can people find out more about you and this film?
My Twitter and I think my Insta is at mchurchill, em Churchill.
Perfect. Veronica, what do you got going on?
Well, I'm still doing my coaching and doing my HR stuff. And right now, as you know, we're working to develop a mentorship speed dating, essentially. So if you're interested in that, then hop on to the Firecracker department Facebook page and let me know. I'm really interested. I'm going to be putting up some questions to find out about interest in that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm over at Sneakus in Instagram and Twitter, and I've got some projects that I'm developing right now, but I have a little bit of like, I don't want to talk about them too much until they're a little bit more ahead in the process, because I don't want to be like, oh, she's always talking about things, but it never happens. But these ones are going to happen. I just want to get into it. But at Sneakus is where I'm at to follow along. And since you're there, go to Firecracker Department, DEPT, follow us there, subscribe to our newsletter, firecrackerdepartment.com, and keep in touch with all the things that are coming up. We've got a chapter in Toronto, Los Angeles. We've got one starting in Vancouver. We have a gal over in the UK. So we've got chapters all over the place, and it sure would be better if you came along and joined us. Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Thank you.
Firecrackers. See you next time.
Bye.